Hello everybody and welcome to MRW New Show. This is a new show we have every week on every Saturday or Sunday, but majority of the time it's on a Sunday, but I don't like to book it just in case I have something on the Sunday and I want to put it on a Saturday. But anyway, we've got a lot of interesting news stories to talk about today and a lot of interesting topics and a lot of things I'm sure people have opinions on, so please do comment below on those subjects. Feel free to comment below about things. Now, the first one, I think we're just going to have it's not so much like a story, because everybody knows about it, but it's sort of like a topic I think would be interesting to talk about. A lot of people have been talking about Glastonbury this year, which obviously Glastonbury is like one of the biggest festivals inside the world, and it costs £373.50 to go. Now, one of our followers does go to Glastonbury and is at Glastonbury, and they were watching me yesterday, weren't they?
They were.
They were watching me yesterday because I did a show yesterday in Holton. It was a bikers festival and it was for charity. And it's for a little girl who's got cancer. We were doing a show and he was watching it, and also I did a concert on Friday and he was also watching that. So basically he was watching it, and even though he's at Glastonbury, so he was watching me instead of watching whoever's on at Glastonbury. Olivia Rodrigo isn't on yet. Yeah. She's on this evening at 9:45 to 11 something, sorry. She's the last person, she's like the closing act. She's actually going to be the youngest person to close it at the age of 22.
Well done her. Abby's on.
Hello, Abby.
And Anders is on.
Hello. And it's just like, it's a big festival, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a big festival.
But it costs £373 to go and 50p. But people, what do you think? Is that worth it? Is it not worth it? Because I mean, you've seen a lot of big major acts, aren't you? All just rammed into one place.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and also, it's not, the thing is also, I think a lot of people don't notice the fact that there's also a lot of other things that are going on at the event as well. You know,
yeah.
Like other things, like
what?
There's some cars on their noses and stuff.
Right. What, was that an accident or something?
No, I think it's just there for scenery.
Right.
They've got some like willow walkways.
So you can pay £373 for a willow walkway.
Yeah, but you'd pay £373 I mean, I don't know this for definite, but I'm presuming, especially depending on where you're sitting, to see Olivia Rodrigo herself. And yet you're getting all the other acts in too. And also, it's not only that stage, I think there's other stages, isn't there?
I think there's quite a few stages.
Yeah. But that's the main stage, which obviously, you know, any stage you play on Glastonbury show is very big. But yeah, and I think there's also Rod Stewart, isn't he performing? Yeah. Yeah, he's performing. Neil Young.
Yeah.
Gracie
he's performed.
Aymond. Yeah, I know, but I'm just listening.
I only know that Neil Young's performed because he got such a slagging off.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Why did he get such a slagging off?
Well, I think because he said that he wasn't going to get filmed by the BBC, so obviously, like, I think the media must have turned against him because he's just had a horrific amount of saying things like his sound was bad and nobody turned up to his thing. But they took a photograph with not much of a crowd there, but you could take it from a long shot like away, couldn't you? Or it could have just been like him setting up, because then if you went on and read the comments, there were loads of people saying that they loved it and it was really busy. So lots of people they were saying with the media that he was quiet and he just brought on a guitar and a harmonica and nothing else, but surely that proves he's a good musician. He doesn't need all the added extras if he can just sit there with his guitar and harmonica. But they gave him a right, it's if you Google him, don't Google him now while you're on, by the way, but if you Google it, there's loads saying
I think Ed Sheeran, not saying anything against Ed Sheeran, but he plays with his guitar, but they're not having a go at him.
I think there's a reason, because they really are.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You know, like Ed Sheeran, he plays his guitar. I think what he does is that he shows, he's just him playing, but he'll have these like loop pedal things. So he'll like record something like a sound on his loop pedal and it'll loop it for him, then he'll go around, record all the other sounds, then sing the song. Yeah. So, yes, he doesn't have the loop pedal part, but then again, I suppose he's got the harmonica. Maybe you could say, well, he's got the loop pedal.
Well, they were complaining that he hadn't sung into his microphone and stuff like that, and going on saying it wasn't very quiet. But if you read the comments, and if anybody was there or watched him, do comment, and other people saying, oh, they loved it.
The other thing as well is, if say his mic was like that, nobody's told him, when you're singing, sometimes you just can't hear yourself.
No, and he's in his 80s, I think.
Yeah, well, like, you know, we do it, like, you can't hear yourself, you just have to keep going, and you're thinking, hopefully this sounds all right. Well, you can't hear
yesterday you could hear a little bit of reverb on the guitar against the speaker, couldn't you? When when I was initially playing the first song.
Mm.
And what do? Do you stop or you just carry on? And it didn't sound
Well, I
brilliant,
suppose
but
that's-
I just don't know what you do.
Because of well, when you're playing, you have like a sound person, don't you, that does the things. Or it can't
I mean,
actually
obviously
be
the sound's got to
instrument.
have been better.
I mean, not supposed to blame your tool, but what I'm saying is there could be rare cases where it could be your tool.
Yeah, but at Glastonbury you would expect it to be a lot better than what ours yesterday. Ours was only a small festival yesterday, wasn't it?
Good.
Oh no, it was a brilliant festival,
Yeah.
but this, I
setup was
presume
really
the
good.
sound up must be better at Glastonbury than ours. Surely.
Well, there's only stuff I can go in there, I don't know. But, and then, well, actually, and the 1975s, I don't know how you fully pronounce it, but like that.
I think it's the 1975, I think that's it.
1975, yeah.
Yeah.
They said, because of what happens is, at Glastonbury, because the money goes to charity, and also you get so much back from the attention you get, they don't get much
Even if
money.
it is negative.
You don't get much money paid for the festival in comparison to other festivals. So the 1975, their set cost them 4 times as much as what they got paid. I think the average amount to get paid for the big acts is about 200,000 to 250,000.
Well, Rod Stewart got 120,000.
All that. And you know, all that's what I found. Dua Lipa, I think she got paid £200,000, and so did Coldplay, but theirs was quite a few more years ago. No, I think actually.
Here we
But
go.
I don't know if they played at the same
about
time
this
as
brief
Dua Lipa,
interlude.
actually. And they just played another time before.
Well, Scissor Sisters were playing at the same time as Neil Young.
They can't be playing at the same time.
Yeah, they were. There's
Well,
different
they're different
stages,
stages,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, of course
I
they can be
would've
playing.
thought
There's
they'd
more
been
than
on
one
the same
stage.
I thought they'd been on the same stage, you know.
So that I suppose that didn't help his cause either.
I suppose it would split his audience, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if you got sort of like a really big band that you're playing against, you know, that's not, you want to be playing against
Well, it's like if you like both
somebody
of
like
them, it's
us,
like you've got to
really.
really choose against them, haven't you?
somebody like us.
Well, they won't choose against us because everybody would go to us. That'd be a stupid thing to do. We have nobody there.
And you might get our 5 subscribers.
So yeah, so they basically lost. I think what were you saying? Were you saying about the fact of that they had, there was the only performance they were doing, and the set cost so much? Because you'd think, why would it cost so much?
The 1975 set,
Is it
that's the
safe
only
they
live
got paid-
performance they're doing.
Well, if they got paid £200,000,
Yeah.
and they're saying it's 4 times as much,
Yeah.
it's a lot of money for them to put on that one show.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll get as much as the others, will they? They're not as...
Yeah, but I think they're on the big stage at a big time, so they must
I don't know.
count them as that.
I don't know.
Olivia Rodrigo's closing it today, which she must be. I don't know how much she'll be getting paid, but she was inside the crowd watching before today.
Oh, well done, her.
Yeah.
Michael's on.
Hello.
We're just talking about Glastonbury, Michael. I don't know if you've got any experience of Glastonbury and how much abuse Neil Young seems to be getting in the papers. And...
But the well, I mean, I'm not going into political stuff because it's very political. But somebody performed there, which they were saying that the BBC refused to cover. But
Elbow. No, not Elbow.
no, a different band. Kneeburn,
No.
I think.
Kneecap.
Just
Body
whatever.
part.
That was kneecap. Well, Elbow.
There's an elbow. Sorry about
I've
elbow.
interviewed the drummer of Elbow, so we're not gonna.
Ankle.
We're not going to say anything about them.
Sorry about elbow. We didn't mean to slag you
Yeah,
off.
there's nothing.
It's just that you're all named your bands after body parts. We
Yeah,
got a bit
it's
mixed
very
up.
confusing.
Kneecap.
Yeah, but they were. I think it was the politicians were saying that they shouldn't be playing there, but then the festival people said, "Well, we don't want to not let anybody else perform. You know, we want everybody to have a free opinion," which I suppose is very difficult because if you're on the side of their opinion, you know, as the politicians or whatever, you don't want them. But then again, if it's the other way around,
Yeah.
you know, you can't have it one way for the
Yeah, but
other.
why should it be all political? Why can't they just make music?
Well,
Like,
I know
we don't go,
that, but-
when we play, we don't go and make a big political statement. It should just be about playing music.
Well,
It
I
makes
know.
me sick. Like Abby's just put now, so sick of hearing about Glastonbury. And so are we, Abby, but it's just, I mean, obviously we're talking about it to say how sick we are. Because everything, I've never known it as much, unless it's just because you've started performing more. I've never known it in the news as much. We were looking for news stories, and I think it was Manchester Evening Post who went on looking at stuff, and there were, apart from about one story, that it's just Glastonbury, and it's just all absolute crap, and it's just all like that kneecap stuff, and they shouldn't give them the time of day because it should just be about music. That's what it should be about. I agree.
Well, it's just about the person that, you know, everybody wants to see the most, don't they, because of the music. But yeah, I don't know. It's what it is, isn't it? I don't know.
And Abby says we need some more positive news in the world. That was one of the reasons why I covered it as well, Abby, was because of Neil Young. because there's obviously something against him, because every article on him was negative, but if you read the comments, majority, you'll always get your trolls like we've got them on here, but the majority of them were positive, so that was the other reason I covered it as well.
Well, you know, for a burger van pitch, it's between £15,000 to £20,000 to pitch.
That's some burgers to sell.
I mean, is that like a weekend thing, like, because of its, you know, 3-day festival?
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of money to sell some burgers. 15 to 20,000.
We'll split it between the 3 days then. That would be
about, well, depending on what it's about, 5,000 to 7,000. That is some burgers to sell.
Yeah, but so the pints of beer cost £7. You bought one.
Yeah.
So I suppose it won't be cheap food. That makes a difference.
No, I don't think it will. I don't think the food's cheap.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. Will they make more money because the food's not cheap? But then again, will everybody go buy it? But then again, if you're going to a festival, you sort of got to bring some money to think, right, I'm spending it because I'm going to this festival.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you go on holiday, you spend more money than when you do at home, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because you have that constant mindset of, I'm on holiday.
But you can only serve so many burgers, can't you?
I'll just go some more.
And people will only eat burgers. I know they will there because they're out partying and stuff like that. But the, you know, majority are going to start about 11 o'clock, aren't they? And then finish. They're not good 24 hours, are they?
Well, I don't know, because if it's a festival, I mean, it's on quite late. Imagine if you just watch the last act, you think, oh, I'm a bit starving.
Yeah.
And that's your only food source.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
But if you get
I feel like they have little shops, though, sometimes festivals, don't they? They have little shops, but.
Yeah, but if you have a catering trailer, let's say it's 20 foot long, you can only serve a certain amount of people, can't you?
I don't.
Well, you can.
You can.
It's not like McDonald's, is it? No, I'm saying you can, but you can only get you've got your grill, haven't you? So you can only get a certain amount of burgers out per time, can't you? And you've got to make 15 to 20 grand back.
Well, they must make it, otherwise they won't charge
yeah,
them,
I
mustn't
suppose
they?
somebody. Anyway,
They
David
mustn't
says
make.
hello, everybody.
Hello. But the cost
I'm just a bit concerned about burger pricing
but
at
the
the
cost
moment.
of putting on Glastonbury in 2023 was
62 million.
62 million.
So it takes a lot to put on.
Well, I think in your ticket, £30 of it go to charity, which I think is not too bad, really, to say how much it costs to put on and the acts and everything.
Yeah.
Putting all that together in the price in the tickets, I think
Yeah.
like the charities, because all that'll add up, won't it, to a big amount.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I feel like it's quite, you know, not too bad for the charities.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like they're getting quite a good amount.
Yeah.
Because also they could just easily put on the festival and not give it to charity.
Yeah.
As well,
Yeah.
couldn't they?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's your Glastonbury talk.
Yeah. So that's like, anyway, that's it, Abby.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing on it.
That's
We
Glastonbury.
just wanted to put our point forward about Neil Young and how much burger vans cost to go there, and we've done it now.
It's done.
That's that box ticked.
It's ticked. I mean,
Oh no, she's back in on it.
oh,
62 million. Yeah, that's how much it costs. I don't know how it can cost so much, but apparently that's what they
well,
said.
it's a lot to do. You've got to pay all the
Obviously,
staff.
they haven't done the books, have they, for this year? So when I look back, the latest one was 2023,
But
and that's how much it was.
They've got to pay all
You've
the.
started her off again, Abby.
They've
It's
got
like a
to pay-
Taylor Swift, is this?
They've got to pay all the. They've got to pay for the stages and the big
Yeah,
stage,
yeah.
all that lighting, all
Yeah,
electricity, the water.
security. Do you know as well they have a little jail for the naughty people?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
But they
they
say
have to pay
actually
for
when
all
you
the
get in the jail it's
licenses.
better, apart from you can't go back in obviously because they give you all the free Wi-Fi and the drinks and everything like that, and you've got loads of space without other people around. And they
You
get
can't
all,
see all the acts.
yeah, they put all the little drug dealers in there and everything. I was reading about that as well. Read a lot about it because there's been no other news actually. When you're trying to find news for a news show.
But what?
Abby says, how can it cost that much? She's telling you, Abby, she'll go through the lot.
Yeah. Well, let me think.
Security will be a fortune.
Yeah. You got all your litter pickers because it will be a mess.
And everyone will
afterwards.
milk it. They'll put in like massive prices.
What one?
Well, you know, the security, if it was, say, you know, a festival, and say, how much is it going to be? And they'll say, oh, you know, about 20 quid. And say, well, it's actually Glastonbury, and they go, 2 million.
You know how much work that is.
Yeah. Well, you just said 20 quid for the other one. Yeah, but we didn't realise, did we? You've got to get extra things for Glastonbury. Like what? I don't know.
Got some t-shirts,
Yeah.
you know. But
A
also,
pen.
you got to pay all your acts.
Yeah.
And then you'll have to pay some form of licenses.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
also,
the council will be milking it.
And there's not only the stages, there'll be other things as well, like, you know, all the things I was talking to you about, all the
Yeah.
setup stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And also they want to make some form of profit,
Yeah.
because of, you know.
They made 6.2 million on about 2023, round about that they've made. And would you know when it first started, it was £1 to go in?
Yeah, plus some milk.
I got some milk. Or did you have to bring your own milk?
I don't really understand it, but that's what
Oh,
it
because
said.
I've got cows. It's a dairy farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in 1981, I think it cost £8. But the thing is, obviously, it'll get more and more expensive. I don't think it's that expensive.
No,
I really don't.
You could get yourself. You need to get yourself there.
I just
You
don't
think it's a bargain?
I honestly do, because I would presume that other festivals, I think other festivals are that price and don't have as big as acts and a big as,
No.
you know, events.
No.
Unless you get your camping and stuff, I don't know if they charge, I don't know if that's camping counted, but,
Yeah.
you know. But they also have, I suppose people will be paying for that, but they also have, like, glamping as well.
Yeah.
Special things for people that want to go glamping.
Yeah.
I think you have to get, like, a bus to the event.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
there,
Oh well. Anyway, not something I'd go to. Right. Everybody happy with the Glastonbury talk? Gary's not on actually.
I'm busy at Glastonbury.
But busy watching people. Abby says, I'd rather stay at home with a cup of tea, thank you. I would much rather stay at home.
Well, speaking of Jeremy Clarkson, speaking of tea, Jeremy Clarkson's pub, they're saying about the fact that it's not making the money.
This is Jeremy Clarkson for anybody that's, you know, lived under a stone for the life and that don't know him.
Now, you know,
I don't think anybody wouldn't know him.
you know Benny,
Benny Hill.
no, Conservative,
Here we
Benny,
go. Ed Miliband.
I don't really want to pronounce it because I feel like I'm getting this wrong.
What does he do?
No, it's she.
What does she do?
Conservative. She's the leader.
Oh, but
Kemi
Kemi Badenoch.
Kemi Badenoch. She was at the pub, you know, and then she said to him, he was talking about the pub and they were going around it. I don't know why she was there, but they were. I think it was a bit to do with farmers.
Yeah.
But she says, "Oh, do you have any Earl Grey tea?" And he was like, "No."
What?
And she's like, "Oh."
Well, it's not out of the ordinary, is it?
Yeah, well,
Do you have Earl Grey tea, Abby?
well,
Or just normal tea?
I think it's because of everything that he has. It's from Britain. You know, it's made in Britain.
Oh, yeah.
But he said he just moved on to something else. But
Must have been a riveting conversation.
but they don't have any ketchup inside the pub.
Oh gosh,
But somebody
somebody ketchup.
listen, somebody watched it. I mean, somebody you know found out they didn't have it, and they decided to make their own ketchup, but British made, so everything came from Britain. And they're still inside the process of fully finishing it. Because at the moment they just want it to be a bit more thicker. But their plan is to get it into the pub, and they're going there for talks and stuff to get this. You know, they've specially made it just to get it inside the pub, basically.
Abby says yes, does have Earl Grey. And Ernesto Chia says kids driving car. I'm sure you put that on last week. I'm sure they put that comment on last week.
Just repetitive. But
YT users says hiya. Hope you had a good weekend. We had a very good weekend. Hope you had a good weekend too. What did you get up to? We were playing at a festival, weren't we?
yeah, I think was it Glastonbury?
Yes, we were playing at a little festival called Glastonbury. In
No, it's a very good festival.
Holton.
It was a very good festival. A very good setup.
I'd rather have been at that festival than Glastonbury, believe me.
Well, also it was a very good cause as well.
Yeah.
So it was good.
And Glastonbury wouldn't have us, and they did.
It had a trampoline as well.
Ah, I bet they don't have one of those at Glastonbury.
No, but it didn't. I think it had like another bit as well. Did the festival? It had like a bit with loads of games in where you could like get water and chuck it at somebody.
Mm.
You know, like a sponge.
Oh, how
I missed
exciting.
that. I was busy performing.
Probably about £50 to do it.
I don't think it was.
Did you tell them what you won from your Amazon thing that you nagged to do? Did you tell them this? Is that been
Made a
since this
video
week?
on it.
Yeah, but not everybody will have watched it.
Well, I don't
I'm
know.
just saying about
stuff.
cons.
I don't have the stuff. I don't know where it.
Somebody put on the thing. They put that they just bag them up and then just put a sticker on, and it's never come from Amazon. That
Yeah.
no. So you fell for it.
I didn't fall for it.
I think you did.
I did not fall for it. I saw it, and then Gary gave me some money for it. And I thought, well, I have to do it now. And I thought maybe I could win an iPhone. And then once I
judged every single.
and then once I opened it, I realised that they obviously look at it inside of it, and they've obviously crammed everything into one box. Which, if they're doing it, they're not going to come across an iPhone and then give it away, are they? They're going to think, oh, I might as well either have this or sell it on.
Well, Abby's just put that she saw the Amazon thing and what a load of crap it was, Abby. But when I filmed her, it was to put it on a short. I don't know if you know that it's got to be under 3 minutes. And so when I filmed her, she was about 14 minutes, right? So I obviously had to cut it down to 3 minutes. And the man was getting more and more irate, and she's going down, and she's she's.
I was just stirring, winding him up.
She's playing, you know, like she's like an 8-year-old, you know, to get away with it. And she's going down the thing and she's squeezing everything, clearly, obviously looking for the iPhone. And he's getting madder. And every time she picks something up and she put it back down, even if she'd have put it down in the exact blueprint of where it came up, he'd grab it and he bung it back down again, pretending that she hadn't put it in the right place. So she went all the way down the bottom and she goes, oh, I just don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. You know, getting so emotional about it. And she goes, oh, I wonder if Gary would mind if I got an ice cream, because Gary had given her the super thanks to go get it. And she goes, I'll have to start again. So she's, there's like about 15 trestle tables. He goes, you're not going back to the beginning. You can't go back to the beginning. He's going like this. So then she had her turn. So they were, you know, having a turn off at each other. And she goes, well, I was going to buy something and I shan't now.
I can't do it 'cause I can't go back down again, can I?
So they were like rowing, like he was like a big, you know, obviously something, I don't know, 50s or whatever, you know, and he having his little tantrum. She was at least at the right age to be having a tantrum. So then then I said, right, I'll pick something, because he was getting quite irate with her. Oh,
no,
what a load
fight
of
there.
crap, which you did. The £4. What an utter load of crap. I've never seen anything like it. I thought there might be a chance of you getting something like a tenner's worth. Do you know what I mean? I didn't realise they would just put in an utter load of crap. But apparently it's a con, which obviously you can understand it's a con. So yeah, so YT user says, I've done some remastering this weekend. It's been super hot and no air conditioning. We haven't got any air conditioning in our Austin 1100. And Transit's on.
Hello.
They've been to Saltaire Festival on the bike. Ibison loves you is a boiling today. Gary's on.
Oh, hello, Gary. We've just been
He
talking
says
about a lot about you.
Yeah, he says blame me for Amazon. We were doing because you weren't on. Now that
you're
you're
on,
on,
we're going to shut
oh, yeah.
Yeah, hello, Gary.
Hi, Gary. No, you don't need to watch any of the beginning, Gary, because there's nothing on important.
Nothing about you.
So, and nothing about that Amazon parcel you gave us super thanks for. Anyway, just talk about Glastonbury and forget about it, Gary. Abby says, I would have exactly the same thing as Matilda. Oh, God. Imagine you two together. You'd have killed him. So I had to be really careful, because we were at an event that she'd been invited to. Otherwise, I'd have probably let her go a little bit further, but we were at an event.
I had the organisers writing on my back as well.
Yes.
It's a bit like, it's a bit difficult, you know, because it's like...
So I was just trying to calm her down.
If I was just like a person who went to the event and I wasn't a part of it, it would have been different, because I could have just been a member of the public then.
She was having a proper turn, though, as you can imagine, Abby, and I calmed her down and purchased a load of crap. YTU says, oh yeah, I saw that, and you ended up getting one, I think it says $1 worth of Timo junk in our packet. I don't think it was even the £1 worth, was there?
I know one thing of use in there.
What?
Well, I mean...
Oh, the plastic bag for afterwards, because we always use repackaging to send our CDs out and stuff like that. That's about the use
No,
bit.
it wasn't. The cup holder things for baking.
About 25 pence.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, I could possibly use it. The thing is about the numbers, there wasn't all the numbers there. Which, if you're going to have numbers, you'd have about 11, because you'd have 0. No,
there was only 4 numbers, wasn't there?
11, yeah. There was only 4 numbers, so there wasn't really enough numbers to do everything with. And also, I couldn't understand what you'd use the numbers for.
If someone loves you, it's Austin 1100. And Halakha loves you.
Right.
And yes, it is a cracking car. I think it's run out of petrol though, because I tried to move it forward and it started the first time and then it wouldn't. And I think the dial might be slightly wrong, so we're going to have to go to the petrol station.
I haven't finished talking about Clarkson's pub.
Yeah, well, I have to, otherwise they just get behind, because they get so many comments, and then people don't get it read out, and then they might get upset like you do when you're going down a thing with your £4 thing. They might have a turn. Mark's Random Curiosities, good evening.
Good evening.
And Michael Steele just says, I hate everyday tea from Morrison's. Well,
It's just not good, is it?
I hope you're getting over it, Michael. We do obviously our thoughts are with you and your family at this, you know, very traumatic time. And if there's
there anything you can contact somebody about? Yeah,
is there sort of like a tea counselling line?
Yeah.
But
so just reach out, you know.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers are obviously with you, Michael. So does anybody else hate day tea from Morrison's? Ken says, not being anti-mum, but you need to break away. Well, can you just break away and you'll be going. So, bye.
I don't know why people like to get involved.
He doesn't have to put up with me now because he's just been blocked.
You've been broken away. You've been left free.
Ken's free.
Right. So let me go back.
Oh, hang on. So yeah, because then people can put this down. So Ibsen Love, she says, what's your guy's favourite sandwich? So she'll just do the story and then she'll tell you, but everybody else put down what's your favourite sandwich. Nice.
Okay. So Clarkson has basically said that his pub has been losing money, or not making the money. And he set up the pub and the Farmer's Dog, yeah, pub in August last year.
What's happened? I've broken away. What's the matter? Right, he invested £1 million into the pub.
Right.
And he's been having difficulties.
Now he says there has been glasses stolen. So you know, like they have the glasses. They've been stolen.
Not glasses.
Not glasses, like glasses, you know, glasses. I mean, that usually does happen though, doesn't it? It's like pub shit.
Would you? I mean, if it's Clarkson's, we didn't, obviously.
Well, we didn't buy anything because it wasn't cash.
But I don't think they've got the name on. I wouldn't do if they hadn't got the name on. But I mean, you'd be a little bit excited.
No,
I
don't think they do it. I don't mean by the fact that they take it because it's Clarkson pub. I think people just take it anyway because of if you're, you know, like drunk or whatever, or you just sort of haven't noticed, you just start walking away.
Or you spend about £7 on a pint, you think, right, at least I'm having the glass.
You just start sort of walking away with the drink. You don't really notice.
Yeah, I think you do notice when you take a glass away.
Well, I just feel like...
How drunk have you been?
No, I'm relating this to somebody else I know who appears to have a lot of glasses.
I think we should move on the story now and moving really swiftly on from this story.
So
back to Jeremy Clarkson.
He says, I'm done with business now. I'm not...
Happy to take one. Honestly, if no one was looking, I might take one.
Well, I don't put pub glasses specially designed to make the drink fruitier.
What do you mean?
It's like a proper thing. They're designed to make the drink taste tastier.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were all different shapes and sizes.
Yeah, because every single glass is shaped for that drink. I
think people take glasses for two reasons, don't they? One is because it might come to last.
We're slowly rolling back.
Might come to last orders. So just slowly rolling back, and they think. And they get chucked out and think, right, I'm taking my drink with me. That's obvious, isn't it? You know, they walk off with half the drink left in. And the other is if it's...
been outside having a cigarette and they walk back in the dog. And
yeah.
Turn around and go, close then.
And then they stagger off with the glass and it might get home or usually gets left on somebody's windowsill, doesn't it? And then the other reason is if it was like you'd paid a lot of money to think, right, stuff you. Because you're not going to have a really nice quality glass, like a crystal cut glass. You think, oh God, that's worth nicking. But I think it's part of the thing, isn't it? Preston 224 says, am I blocked? No. I don't know. I can see you, right? I can see your stuff.
Then, about... He says, I'm not starting another business as long as I live. 5 years later.
Let's say Jeremy Clarkson starts his new business.
He's got this rally course. He says, I don't understand it.
Bless him.
And I'm not...
I'm not motivated by money, even though he's a multi-millionaire. I just want a good crack. But Clarkson's health has been poor recently, and he says he's facing horrific lifestyle overhauls, such as engaging in physical activities, lowering alcohol intake, doesn't say stopping, and dietary changes leading to a situation where he feels he's not allowed to have fun anymore. It doesn't say anything about the smoking, does it?
No.
He's obviously not going to stop that, is he? He said of the pub, the customers are coming, there's no problem, but turning their visits into a profit is nigh on impossible. But I did a little bit of research on it for you, and the menu, he's only got 4 starters. The main menu, he's only got 6, and to finish there's only 2 puddings.
Have a look.
No, because you'll take ages
reading
that.
No,
because I'm going to
the pudding bit.
I'm going to tell you the pudding bit. Right, and the pudding bit, no,
Mhm.
seriously, the pudding bit is poached rhubarb and summer fruit pudding, so they're like citrusy sort of type fruity
Yeast chocolate
things.
in there, don't
Yeah,
you?
exactly. So if you don't like that citrusy sort of stuff, or if it repeats on you, because some people get heartburn from that those sort of stuff, it's not going to interest you, is it? So this is why, and Clarkson, if you're listening, which clearly you will be, it's your menu.
Well, the problem is
It's not detailed
but
enough.
the problem he's got is that he can only get things from Britain.
But you can get more than that. You can get there's no read them out because nobody else can listen. Then you've got soup of the day. Oh, that's so boring, isn't it?
What's wrong with soup of the day?
Well, it's
he's got to put it on somewhere.
He's charging £8.50 for it though, isn't he? So he's got to be excited. Ham hock terrain, asparagus, poached egg and hollandaise sauce, Evesham heritage tomato salad, and a smoked bilberry trout patty. That's your starters. And then this is your main course, right? Sausage of the day, gammon steak,
I can't even.
cotswold lamb and mint sausage. So you've got two in 6 things. You've got 2 sausages, steak pie, spring chicken and smoked pork, sausage casserole.
Where's the vegetarian option?
Well, your vegetarian is Wye Valley, asparagus and garden pea pearl barley. I mean, it sounds depressing as it is. So, and that's 20 quid. So he's only got 1 vegetarian option, and then he's got 5 other meals. 3 of them contain sausages. That's where he's going wrong.
I have a look. She said that I think the starter, apart from the soup, but then again the soup could be a meat one. The soup of the, the starter again it's asparagus for the vegetarian. So that means your starter and your main are both asparagus for the vegetarians, and then I suppose you put in summer fruit, cheese. Oh, you got cheese. Oh, is that? It's cheese board. No, I thought it was cheese board. Yeah. Oh, you got ice cream though.
Yeah, but
but no chocolate though.
That's what I mean. The pudding.
Well, it's hard without chocolate.
The menu's not good enough. That's the problem. So you either got to be doing a pub where you sit in there drinking to make money, or you've got to be doing a really good menu that people there's going to be a lot of competition in the area. So once people have gone like we did, because it's Jeremy Clarkson's pub, once you've done that, that's it, isn't it? You're not going to go again, are you? Especially if you don't see him, and then if you do see him, you're not going to go again because you've seen him. So both ways he can't win, because we went and went, no, we didn't see him. That's our life ruined, didn't we? And there's somebody that goes, oh, I've seen him. They're not going to go again.
And the thing is also, a lot of the pubs have locals. But the thing is, there'll be other local pubs around there, and you're not going to go to a local pub that's a tourist attraction. You're not going to make that your regular because of it's a tourist attraction.
And when we went in, it was really quiet. I'm not saying it is all the time. Obviously, it's busy. It's just that we went late, didn't we? And we had to sort of the staff were lovely and friendly and stuff like that, but they didn't come rushing over to us, did they? We had to go and get a member of staff, which isn't good, is it? And then obviously not taking cash. I mean, I think that will have killed him.
And also, I don't feel like he will. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people now that are really annoyed if they're working out. There's the people that knew that if cash goes, it's going to be so bad for society. And then because they've kept going on about it, a lot of people are waking up now and going, oh yeah, God, I didn't think of that. I speak to people and say, oh, I never thought of it that way. And so a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon now, aren't they, and understanding it. And so he's going to have people that think, I'm not going there if they're not taking cash.
Well, I hear a lot of people now where they, say the line, cash is king. And I hear a lot of people say, because there's a lot of people, like for example, at counter say, oh, cash or card, and they'll go, oh, no, cash is king, sort of thing. So I think a lot of people do. And I think they also feel a lot more vocal into saying it as well. They don't feel like, oh, it's weird saying it as well. So that probably would have helped.
Anyway, Abby doesn't like mayo. She says it's gross. I love mayo.
Oh, we're talking about sandwiches.
Ibsen. Yeah, she's just not done a random tea thing like Michael. Ibsen loves, she says, I love mayo. I'm a prawn sandwich guy, or maybe a ham cheese. I don't like ham cheese, but I do like prawn. What's your favourite sandwich?
Me.
Ooh.
I don't really tend to eat a lot of meat, but sandwiches I do struggle with making an alternative. It tends to be dinners. I'm quite good at making vegetarian, but for sandwiches, it's just not very good. So I'd probably say usually either salmon with maybe just salmon or cream cheese or whatever.
Look, there's going to be a list.
I don't. Would a burger count as like a sandwich?
Well, sort of, it's more of like a burger, isn't it?
But it's stuff inside the middle of two pieces of bread.
Yeah, but it's still sort of like called a burger.
Okay. I would have a prawn sandwich, a bit of salad in it. Bacon salad sandwich. I kind of like. Oh, I tell you what, I do quite like, but it's not. I don't know. It's not a sandwich. A duck wrap.
Oh yeah.
But it's not a sandwich.
Yeah. It's more of a sandwich than a burger.
Well, I'd say a burger's more of a sandwich than a
No,
duck wrap.
I'd say a wrap is.
Then.
You wouldn't want a cold burger, would you?
What I have made before, which is vegetarian, but it's inside of a bagel, an egg salad bagel.
Oh no, I don't like egg.
Yeah, but I just fry it, so I don't do anything with it. I just fry it. Now, what I do like is salmon and scrambled egg on toast. Now, it's not a sandwich, but I could put a piece of bread on top of it and count as a sandwich.
Abby says no, May is the worst tasting, most disgusting, vile white slime. Oh, I like mayonnaise.
Okay.
I like a wrap with that melting cheese on, mayonnaise, spicy sauce, red cabbage, red onion, sweet corn, lettuce and cucumber.
Now, if you asked her that 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
she would have said it.
Oh, it's a joy.
But I've started making my own wraps. Speaking of which, I need to.
She's actually not just folding it up. She's actually making the.
So I've made the wrap stuff. So because I've been making it, she's been eating it. So now she's made this wrap. And today I was going to show it to you all, but I have not cooked it. I made my own bread today. It has risen now. I mean, I could just go do it, but obviously I can't. But I could just go do it because it's all ready to go. But I just need to do like another. I think I need to just do a few more things with it, then leave it to rise again, and then put it inside the oven. It's already done majority of its rising stuff, and then I'm gonna have some buns, and if they turn out well, or if they don't turn out well, I'll share a picture on the community. But I did do that today, haven't I?
Yeah, well done.
And at the moment it smells really good, so I'm hoping it should be really good. And I'm hoping.
So Elsa Walk says hello, Matilda and
Hello.
Mum. Ibsen Loves You says Variety have a nice deal in Co-op where you get a nice glass of you buy a pack of 10 beers. Gabby says that's good to know. Dave says sorry that I'm late. Been out all day. Love the videos from yesterday. Thanks, Dave. It all went very, very well. Mark's Random Curiosity says only 6 mains. I could eat at least 7. I don't think you're supposed to eat all of them. Mark, I think you're supposed to choose one.
In Italy, though, they pretty much do. They have loads of different courses.
Gary says 2 puddings. That sounds horrible. Come on, Clarkson. That's what I think. I think you can't complain that your pub's not doing any good when you only offer 2 puddings that are extremely similar.
And they're very particular sector. I mean, what he needs is those 2 puddings, because that sort of covers the healthy people, the people that like fruit sort of people. But you need some vanilla and you need some chocolate. And probably some strawberry or raspberry. Those, because those are your main 3 puddings.
You've got to have some with chocolate.
Vanilla. You have to have.
You've got to have some with cream.
Whatever, because of me, whatever it is, if it's chocolate cream, unless there's coffee in it, I can eat it. So they have to have something chocolatey. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be dramatically chocolatey. It can be something that's got a lot of other things, but it's got some chocolate, drizzle on the top. As long as it's got that chocolate in there, it can cover so many range of that sort of person that likes that thing. And then vanilla's a sort of, Billy sort of type person.
Billy?
Yeah, I like chocolate. Billy likes vanilla and you like raspberry, strawberry. So Billy's, sort of vanilla person. And then you're the sort of raspberry person, so he's not covering that range.
No, he's not good. That's why he's not doing any good. He needs to, I need to ring him really and say, look, who's not, with all that money, all that promotion and everything, why is nobody turning out to him?
Good at business.
Yeah, but what is everybody else surrounding him not good at business either?
Must be.
You think his mates would ring up, wouldn't you? He's got a successful pub, hasn't he? The other one, what's the other one called?
James May.
James May's got a successful pub. You think, as a friend, he would ring up and say, look,
I don't
mate.
think James May's marketed his as James May's pub. I think he has the pub, but I don't think he full blows goes, oh, this is my pub. I think he just has the pub. If you look at the website, they don't go, oh, this is James May pub and everything. They don't go on about it. They don't have any pictures.
That's probably why it's doing well.
Exactly.
Because you'd be sick if you were, say, a local and every time you got people walking in and say, oh, is he been in? Is Jeremy here? And it's obvious they're coming for there. I'd just walk out. And I'd go to another pub where you don't get all that hassle.
Exactly. So his pub doesn't have all that.
No. No, but that's what's wrong. You've got to have.
I
more
don't
choice
know,
of
I might be
puddings.
wrong, but I was hearing something that James May's been banned from the pub even though he's never gone.
I think that's a marketing joke.
Yeah. And then Richard
You would
Hammond
have
was
thought
upset
they'd
that he hasn't
go
been
though,
gone.
wouldn't you?
Well, Richard Hammond hasn't been to James May's pub, and James May's pub, he's had his pub for longer.
Yeah, I can't understand that. You think they'd go?
Mm.
I'll have to speak to them all and see what's happening.
What's happening about your friendship?
Have you fallen out?
And
How many other people have done this? I can just relate to this. This is Ibsen loves you. I always ask what soup of the day is, and I never order it. Well, they do. And the poor waitress, they never know, do they either? They go trundling off by one. I'll just go find out for you. I think, how do you not know?
I get a soup of the day.
Nevertheless, I've done that. Oh, what's soup of the day? And I was like,
oh,
I actually like that
question.
one, but I don't want to go out and just have a soup.
Because by the time, yeah, but also the thing is as well, sometimes, you know, you kind of like sort of don't want to be served yet. So if you ask us what soup of the day, it gives you more time.
And you're always
to work
hoping
out
they'll
what you
come back and
want.
say mushroom, so you can go, oh no, I don't like that, and then they can get somewhere else.
Yeah, but to be fair, they don't know your taste buds, so you could just
No, but
say
you think
whatever.
that, don't you? Because I hate mushroom soup.
Mm.
Abby says sausage of the day, laughing emoji. Well, it says 3 sausages. He's obviously a bit obsessed. Whitey uses says sausage soup. Your gear on groom says sounds absolutely pukey. Gary says I took my boys out for my Father's Day pub meal. Cost me £150. Oh, where did you go? Ibsen loves you says asparagus makes your pee smell. Does it? Right? Abby says, how can you not pay with cash? I just don't understand that. I can't understand why people don't see it, Abby. I really can't, but some don't, and then they come out with all this crap, don't they, that you're avoiding tax and all the same things. Carl Leadsom says, why all of a sudden cash doesn't count as money? Ibsen loves you says, I tried his lager in a pub near me in Aberon. It was all right, to be fair. Carl Leadham says tuna mayo for me. Oh, I've never eaten tuna. I just I couldn't eat that.
One point in my life.
I don't think Abby likes it either. Carl, please, no, I couldn't. And I suppose tuna mayo. Oh yeah, tuna mayo. I've put that. Sorry, that was my mistake. But tuna, no, I couldn't. Gary says Philly steak with horseradish sauce, my favourite sandwich. I've never heard of that. I don't like horseradish sauce, it's very strong, isn't it? Van Transit says, you can't beat a good bacon and tomato butty. Abby says, your mayo liking people are weird. Preston says, ham salad with sliced egg and tomato. Mark's random curiously, oh no, oh my god, this isn't nearly as bad as mayonnaise for Abby. Mark's random curiosity says, Nutella and banana. Oh, could you eat that?
I haven't really, I don't know.
Oh. Anders says, what's your favourite pudding, Matilda? And the Hunter Whitey music says hello. And Dave says, I like real ale and ask what they have. And often they have to go and check. They work there and should know. Well, yeah, they should. And they should know what the soup is as well. What was your favourite pudding?
Dally anything. An 82-year-old woman has become one of the oldest people to swim across the English Channel as part of a is it replay? What do you call them?
They did a relay team, didn't they?
Relay team. So she's part of that. And they've swum it, and she's done it instead of
Dot Wagstaff from Pateley Bridge in North Yorkshire, and this, I mean, she didn't do it all, but in 82, she's done a mile, she's done well, but they did it as a relay thing, and she didn't wear a wetsuit or anything, just a swimming costume, goggles, and a hat. And she's done it for the Cosmic Charity, and that supports families, nurses, and doctors treating babies and children in intensive care. So I don't think, well, I wouldn't want to be doing it now, never mind at 82 years old.
The water looks quite nice though inside that picture.
It does look nice,
doesn't it? The water looks quite nice and tropical.
I know, but she's 82.
But they were supposed to do it last year and it didn't happen because of weather. But they're supposed to do it in September, which, why would you swim the English Channel in September?
Now, why would you swim it in any time?
Yeah, but if you're going to swim it, you do it like now, you know. What we're in? June. You know, you wouldn't do it in September when it's all cold.
This is because of Billy. He says, can I borrow your wagon? And every time, without fail, he goes, oh no, there wasn't that much diesel in it, because he brings it back. And last time he brought it back with so little diesel in, I had to go up to the local garage and get a can and bring it back. So I've one step ahead of him this time. I've photographed it and I've sent it to him. So I'll know. And then I've got evidence. real evidence now, haven't I?
Mm. Mm.
Well done, me.
Well done, you. It's good stuff, you know.
Very clever.
Well, I had to work out a date for something. Just a reason I had to work out this date, and I was thinking inside my mind of what was I doing and everything. And I eventually worked out how I could work out what that date was by looking on what I was doing on that day on my device.
Well done,
That
you.
sounds very confusing. I explained it really wrong. But basically, it can be really good if you look back on a photo. You can work out what date you were doing something.
Ibsen Loves You has to go. Thank you very much for joining in and doing loads of comments. Well done, you. Abby says that's impressive at 82. I think so. I wouldn't want, because when Matilda first told me the story, I says, well, she didn't do it all, and I thought, well, 82 doing any of it's very impressive. She hates water and hates swimming. I'm not a keen swimmer. I always think when I go to the seaside, I always think, oh, I'll go for a swim, and then I think, oh no, it's not as exciting once you start.
You just always think about the jellyfish. They're going to attack you. You do get attacked by jellyfish, don't you?
Yeah, there's a lot of jellyfish lately, isn't there?
Yeah, you keep finding them on the beach in Morecambe, don't we?
Yeah, I've never seen them in Morecambe, and there's quite a few. Abby says, bad boy Billy. I know, Abby. Tell me about it. Gary says, well done at 82. Love it. Our rugby team swim at a local river on Boxing Day once we've broken the ice. Oh, gosh. And Mike says, what hand clapping games do you remember the most? Oh, God, I don't know. Happy birthday.
I don't know. Right.
Well done.
A
round of applause.
Around 100 people who live in what they're called, what's the
Tipi Valley.
Tipi Valley, in the wilds of West Wales, don't have rules at all. It's there's a little joke, I suppose.
Apart from taking the shoes off.
Apart from taking their shoes off, but it's like a joke. So this is a picture. Is this like an old picture?
Yeah, that's an old picture of when it first started out.
So it first started out. They got a cat, nice cat in it.
Oh, it's probably dead by now. It started in 1976. It started with 2 acres.
And now it's hundreds of acres.
Yeah, and they've started building, started adding land to it all the time. And now they've got hundreds of acres, and they just live there off the land.
So they basically just live there off the land, like you said. And they have like these tent structures, some of them a bit like wooden structures. And they go out and they get the firewood and live off that and stuff. But a lot of people inside the local area oppose it, even though...
No, they didn't. It was the council that said, they put out the thing saying that it was the council that saying that people opposed it. But when they actually went and asked people, they were saying that, oh, leave them be, and they're not costing us anything, and all that lot. But that's the council. He's such a prick as far as I'm concerned. You hear him, he's so pompous, it makes you feel sick.
Their mode of living is unacceptable to this area and to this locality. They come regularly to pick up their welfare benefits. And in due course, they call in the pubs and they call in the cafes. It's nothing unusual to see on the doors of cafes in Sunday-Law. No hippies.
Alone. If they want to live like that, that's up to them. So if they leave me alone, I leave them.
If they own the land, it's their right to stay. To me, anyway.
They're trying to get them off the land. Well, it's going to cost the rate. It's going to cost on the rate fee. They'll have to rehouse them then, I guess, won't they? People are going to live somewhere.
So it was the council that said, oh, everybody's complaining about it. But when they actually went round and interviewed everybody, nobody was bothered.
And obviously I know that it's like an old thing there, but it's still there, and it's fact if somebody recent has gone and reported on it. It's okay.
Sorry?
It's okay. But I think the structures cost like about £5,000 to build, which is a bit expensive. But I think it's because
I don't think that's your home then. For £5,000, it's phenomenal.
But it's like, I think it's all supposed to be, proposed, like converting to the ground.
Oh, biodegradable. Like 80% of the buildings are biodegradable.
Well, I mean, if I had a community like that, which I don't really have a leader, but the thing is, if you had some land, like, why don't you, I suppose, like, I don't think they charged them rent. But, I mean, I'd make it like a community where, I mean, obviously they're all happy, they're all enjoying themselves and stuff. But I'd have everybody has to have a skill. Like, everybody comes and have a skill, so everybody works together, and if you don't have a skill, you're
not welcome.
No, you have to do but say if you have a member family if you have a few people inside that family, one person can have a skill and they can sort of like sort that out.
Yeah.
But the other people have to be like the wood gatherers, because of like they were saying the wood is a bit of a job inside of itself to go get the wood.
Yeah.
So they can be the wood gatherers. And also I think what they do is they don't just stay inside the same spot inside the land, they move around the land, so they'll go to another space to let the other part of that land grow after they've been, sort of thing. So also they can help with that. But I'd make sure everybody has a skill that they can all chip in.
Yeah.
Apparently at the beginning, I think what they did was they did have like a thing where they said, oh, we'll have a group meeting and we'll all, you know, vote on things. But they were saying about the fact of that some people were a bit too out of the way, like a bit too over the top about things. You know, like a bit too wacky opinions. And then the other ones were like, I mean, wacky opinions to everybody else, to know, you know, the rest of the world's opinions, but basically they had a few more wacky people than other wacky people, and they were all voting, they were all completely different, so they were like, oh, just stuff this, just do what you want. So then they just stopped doing the voting system because everybody was just a bit too, you know, different.
But apparently they don't pay any rent.
No, which is strange.
Yeah. So you can just sort of like live there and just go get your wood, and they've got loads of forest and everything like that.
I'd have a pony if I lived there. Get myself a pony.
But it's a fair way of life, isn't it? You know, just they're not called like the council and that, and the people. I watched a bit more of the video and everything, and the people, you know, the intelligent people, the public, were saying, well, hang on a minute, it's all right chucking them out, but then you're going to have to pay for council houses, aren't you, for them, and it's going to cost you about £1 million in legal fees and everything, isn't it? And they just don't think of that.
That councillor said, oh, you know, these people have come from London and Birmingham and all these places and stuff, so he says, why don't they just go back there? And
Yeah.
like, well, they're left for a reason.
They don't have to just, because you come from somewhere, you don't have to just live there the whole of your life. You can move.
You know, people are born
But
in
he was
England,
a
but doesn't mean they don't move to France.
Pompous prick, wasn't he, the way he was going about it. Oh, just makes you sick. But using somebody else's money, though, aren't they? You know, to getting them evicted.
Well, they were saying about the fact, you know, when we get us evicted, it's going to cost you like £1 million.
Yeah, and then they'll just go bob back anyway.
Yeah. Just like, oh, well, this is nice. It's been nice. Then he went back over there.
It's £1 million. Dave says, when in Morecambe on Friday, there were quite a few swimming in the sea, and Randoms says, do you play bass?
I have a bass. Doesn't mean I don't know what to do with it.
I have an accordion.
I have a violin. Don't mean I know what to do with it. I have a few instruments I don't know what to do with.
Yeah, she plays ukulele, drums and piano.
So it's enough for now, that's for certain.
That's enough for anybody.
Yeah.
Don't need any more than that.
I just happen to own them. That doesn't mean anything. But yeah.
Do you want to tell them about your rally that you did and how well you did?
No. No, I don't want to tell them how well I did.
I thought you
They'd
wanted
only
to
be jealous.
I thought you wanted to tell them what you came
No, I don't.
and how many minutes you did
No, I
compared
don't.
to everybody else.
No, I don't want to tell them at all.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you'd screenshotted it so you could tell people.
No, that was you.
Oh, right, okay. She's not going to give her rally results to you. Sorry about that. Where did you come?
I came. So this was not Barham Hill Climb. This was a stages to call it, don't they?
Auto test.
Auto test is stages.
You've never
that's
said
been
anything
confused.
is hilarious in your life.
Auto test. Now, bearing in mind, I'm not being mean to you.
Oh, it's my fault. It's my fault.
But
She came 4
majority
minutes
of the
behind
time
everybody
she wouldn't
else.
tell me where to go when this is her job as a co-driver.
Well, for 2 reasons, right? One, she won't listen.
I do.
She
listen.
will not listen. So
I
you
do
go,
listen.
she's going which way around the cone, and I'm going right, and she carries on
No,
screaming.
she doesn't. You know what she does? She says, "Go around the cone. There's 3 cones. Which cone do you want me to go around?"
By the way, she's already seen the plan before she sets it off. It's
What do you
already
mean I remember?
set out. And then what she does is, so if you've got to go up the cone and go right round it in a hairpin, right, she'll just go flying straight and probably run into the pallets, so she's stuck there. So obviously I howl and I can't stop laughing. The whole crowd are creased up laughing, so I see them laughing, and then she's going, which way? Which way? Like this, and I can't say anything for laughing. It's just unbelievable.
Well,
You've never seen anything drive
There's
like
this
it.
bit where you go inside the building where the farmer's building, inside where the cows feed and stuff. And she like, I said, do I need to go in there? Because sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And she's like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, And then having to grab it off her. And the thing is, if you grab it off her, you're spending so much time having to try and digest what you've eaten. You have to work it out because the sheets, to be honest with you, are really, really small and haven't drawn. And I'm like, I don't know. And then I'm having to work it out and then give it back to her. She's just not concentrating. But, so this was my time. Bearing in mind I am competing against people who just I quite happily go around there as fast as possible.
Which is sort of like the idea of the game.
Yeah, but they quite happily like just risk everything. But the thing is I've got not only do I not want to injure myself or my mother, but I've got the thing is that it's our car. So if I damage it, we haven't got a car and it costs money to mend. So
Otherwise you would have won.
I would have won. So I came second to last.
And who came last?
Ben.
What was his time compared to yours?
Just something.
Oh, it doesn't say because he retired with a puncture. And how far we? How many minutes were you behind the second to last person?
Well, I wouldn't have spent so long if somebody had told me which way to go, but I was 14 minutes and 50 seconds, and that's all my seconds time together. And there was like a lot.
So what was the person before you there?
11 minutes 49 seconds. So if it wasn't for you,
all right,
I would have been very close to this person because I was only 3 minutes behind him, which within that 3 minutes was the time of me having to keep reversing because you didn't tell me which way to go.
So the winner did it in 7 minutes.
Because basically, if you don't go the right way, you get added points.
So the winner did it in 7 minutes 38 seconds, and Matilda did it in 14 minutes 50 seconds.
I feel like it's not too bad.
Well, that's double the time. They could have gone round twice.
And then you're supposed to do this thing where you're supposed to go up to the cones and then stop. Now I did it wrong every single time, but the thing is nobody told me how I was supposed to do it. Because if I thought you were supposed to stop your nose at the cones, turns out you're supposed to stop both your doors at the cones, but nobody told me that. Nobody ever told me. So I was doing that the whole time and nobody said, oh, you know what, you're supposed to stop at your doors. Nobody told me. Ever. So how was I supposed to know? And then this plant pot inside the way.
And the two cones, you're supposed to stop with them halfway between your
Well,
cars
no,
and
you
your
were in
doors.
the car
And
with
she
the
just
car,
because
you
I couldn't stop
told
laughing. So she'd come flying up to these cones and she'd just stop and they'd be sort of like encouraging her forward. And they go, you know, and like this, and she'd just stop and look at them and they go, oh God, it'll do. And then when you start off, you're supposed to be with obviously your nose at the cones. And because the clutch control was so bad, they just went, that'll do. They're giving up, didn't they? That'll do.
Well, it's a bit embarrassing because when you're at the starting line, you've got every other driver there watching you, so you sort of just want to try and get onto the field, so then you're not near anybody, so you can just be yourself. But it's a bit difficult. So
Gary says was Ben on his bike. I think we could have probably run down faster. Gary says it's taking part that counts. He's obviously, we're all winners at St Barnaby's.
I don't think my time's bad because I know it wasn't fully my fault, and also I wasn't that far behind the other person, really.
Just 7 minutes behind.
No, 3.
No, but around the first one. Anyway, well done. It's the taking part that counts.
And also, everybody's got a really fast car there.
Gary says, I worry for the chickens. I think that she's been before, so I think they put them in a little hut, Gary. And then they removed the hut just to make sure that was safe as well. In fact, they removed most farm vehicles. Even the diggers and stuff like that, they didn't think were safe. And you come down the shipping, it's a really big shipping, and I don't know. I'm going to explain what shipping is because I didn't realise when we got wooden pieces from one. Some people don't know what a shipping is if you're not sort of like into farming. And so it's where they obviously the cows are at each side where they feed, and there's a long bit that goes down the middle where the tractor can drive to clean and everything like that. So basically it's the width of a tractor with a little bit more. And what they've done halfway down it, I put a little chicane. So obviously you go down and you do a little S-bend through and off. So Matilda's going down and I'm thinking, God, she's taking this at some speed to get through that S-bend. And I'm going, and I'm thinking, and I went, Matilda, she just carries on, like that. And she just obliviously just hit it. She just went straight through the S-bend. And I had to grab it because part of the S-bend was a metal gate. So I thought my ring mirror in the side of my car was going, so I had to actually then launch over, grab the wheel.
I know, did you do that?
I did. You look on the video. She just wasn't even going to bother about the chicane bit.
Well, I don't have enough experience driving, so I don't understand where, everywhere my car is.
And Abby says, get an automatic. No, she just keep her foot down, Abby. It just keeps going up the gears and off she'd go. Oh, I've never laughed so much.
I'm not too bad at like gears.
Laughed through fear for my car. And, oh, it was so funny. She just, so funny.
I understand. I've done all the gear stuff and I've done hill climbs, but the thing is, hill climbs, you don't really have many bend things. So it's like, you know, I have to learn everything, but you know, yeah.
The hit girl says, why are you talking like you're from England? Because we've managed to perfect it.
I've been working on my accent.
We've been working on accent. Obviously, we're American, but this has taken quite a while, and we're very proud of it. So what we do is we do a weekly news show, in an English car, with an English accent, pretending we're from England, and it's.
A lot of people
before you.
I'm surprised you noticed.
We've fooled people for over a year now, and now you've noticed. So well done,
well
you.
Done you.
Well done.
Dang, that secret's out. I feel like we're keeping it, you know.
Oh, anything else?
I'll just show you this.
Oh, shattered.
So I just posted a video on my music account. I also posted one yesterday as well, so there's a few videos on there. So I'm trying to show it to you, but the internet's not working for some reason. There we go. So go check it out. That's my music account. Matilda Walden Music, MRW Music Official. Check out the music account because you can see all the other videos on there. And also check out my brother's account as well, which is Jane Walden, spelt with a Y.
I now have 79 subscribers.
Once it actually loads.
It's probably loading all my subscribers.
There you go.
Have I still got 79? Nobody's left, have there?
So there you go. Go check them out.
Oh, I've got a notification. I bet it's you. Oh, yes, Matilda live now. It's a notification I get is Matilda's going live.
Precious.
Oh well, not to worry. Right.
I don't
anything
know.
else? Anybody got anything else?
She's just getting on the comments now, but I can do it, I suppose.
I've got my comments coming up now. That's my job. Gary says, I'm off to get food and then watch Miss Rodrigo. Look out for the Liverpool flag.
I'm very, very jealous.
And thank you, especially when you're at
Yeah,
Glastonbury for being on.
I think he deserves a round of applause.
He deserves a round of applause.
Because he's been on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Unless he just doesn't like Glastonbury, he's being dragged there, and he's probably thinking, "Oh, thank God, I've got some entertainment." Unless it's that, then thank you very much for joining in, even though you're at Glastonbury.
And Abby's given him a clap as well.
Yes.
So if that's everything,
yes.
Thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you next week sometime.
Yes, I hope you enjoy Glastonbury, though I really don't, because I would like to see Olivia Rodrigo right now. But, you know. But anyway, one day I'll see Olivia.
See you later, Abby.
But thank you very much for watching, and yes, hope you do have a good time. And see you later, Abby, and see you later all. Bye!